Hi folks, I'm Dinika Keswani. I get to you today our latest launch from Genetic Colnet HR Jazz. The idea here is to get into everything HR, the most undervalued department, but indeed a crucial department. Joining me today are my co-directors, my colleagues, Tushar, Vishal and Unnati. Let's get into their journey and their experience in this department. Hi Tushar.
Hi Dinika.
Tushar, you have come on board with 20 years of experience, where you have moved from a job atmosphere in a multinational to now being a business owner. How have things changed? How has your role evolved over the years?
So if I have to talk about it, Dinika, this role has been a revelation for me because I was never, I was a businessman in my heart. But when I started my career, in the first few years, I was working as an employee. So as an employee, you have a very restricted role because you're working with some company which gives you a role, it offers you a designation and it expects you to do one particular kind of role. Definitely the role offered me a lot of growth opportunities. So business has been a complete 360-degree change for me. But after a couple of years, a lot of new things came for me, which actually helped me grow in my role as a company, in the company. As a businessman, there is no shame actually in terms of what is expected out of you and what you deliver over a period of time.
Correct.
As a businessman, you are expected to work right from a doorman to a chairman. Everything is expected from you. Whereas when you have to start to go out and acquire a business, make that sales call, meet the right people, hire your team, train them, manage them, and grow with them. So everything has its own pros and cons. And I think so far my journey in the business world has been very, very fulfilling, and definitely I'm looking for more growth as we move ahead in times.
Nice. So, tell me something, this question is there on everyone's mind, unemployment, unemployment in India. Why do you think it's so high over here?
मुझे तो पहले ये समझ में नहीं आता कि इंडिया की पॉपुलेशन, नाउ वी आर द मोस्ट पॉपुलिस्ट कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड, उसके बाद भी हम लोग बोलते हैं यहाँ पे इतनी सारी अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है. अब मुझे वो लॉजिक इसके लिए नहीं समझ में आता कि एक साइड पे हमारे पास वी गॉट अ वास्ट पॉपुलेशन ऑफ एंड इट्स अ यंग पॉपुलेशन. वी आर द कंट्री व्हिच हैज द यंगेस्ट पॉपुलेशन ग्लोबली, एंड अगेन दैट इज इन वॉल्यूम्स. At the same time, we have so many companies which are still scouting for talent, and they're running every day to find the right set of people. Consultants are spending days and days together to get one right profile. What I feel is that the employment scenario in India is a little dynamic right now because there's a lot of change in technology. And I think so if I have to deliver and if I have to evaluate, you can say that there is a pre-COVID era and there is a post-COVID era. Pre-COVID era, there were a lot of jobs which were there available for people and which were basically mundane jobs where people were easily hired. But COVID made a revelation for us where we had to move indoors and we had to work within the confinement of our home. There were many industries basically which were not ready for it. So new jobs got created. Now what has happened because of these new jobs getting created, a lot of emphasis was given on technology which was earlier not given by companies or the industries. That resulted in a lot of people not being equipped to get or deliver those jobs. Hence, there was a decline in the number of positions getting filled. And during the COVID time, everyone went out on a hiring spree. We hired people, but then over a period of time, we realized that these are not skilled employees. So a lot of retrenchment has also happened. Another factor which I feel is very important where there is unemployment in India is the skill match. What we are taught in our schools or the finishing schools, at times they do not match to what the industry is expecting out of us.
Correct.
Where we definitely have people who are intelligent, but are they employable? That's a question. That's a question. So that plays a very important role on that aspect. Most of the jobs, if you look at it today, are very concentrated on bigger cities. You look at Mumbai, you look at Bangalore, you look at Gurgaon, Delhi, you look at now Hyderabad is coming up. So if you look at it, there are only about 6 to 7 major cities where most of the jobs are offered. Whereas there are people, if you look at it still, the industry needs to think beyond these bigger cities. work towards developing more smaller cities or the tier 2 and tier 3 cities where people do not come to these mega cities and they get an opportunity within their own city and grow. Work has started around it, definitely. Like, I'm coming back to my point where technology is playing an important role, wherein a few roles which were earlier required you to be in office, now you can work from home, and these jobs are slowly developing towards, but still there is a lot of area of improvement in this aspect. So I think so as we continue with the times, we can see unemployment getting reduced while people get skilled as well, they match, and industry and education and the government, all three need to play a very, very important role in developing this infrastructure.
Correct. So, I'm going to ask you a very basic question. What is a good job? What are the benefits that one should consider essential in a job offer? What factors would help to take it up or to drop a job offer that comes in hand? Too many questions in one question.
Yeah, I think so. There are too many questions, and maybe I'll try and answer it
Correct.
in parts. For starters, there is nothing as a good job. There is nothing as a bad job.
Is it the paycheck that determines it?
Maybe just a smaller aspect, but it's only till you receive your first salary. After that,
Okay.
the paycheck is same. If you work for Google, if you work for a MSME, or if you work for even a small company, it's just till the first paycheck you get, you have that excitement. To come to your question,
Right.
there can be ideal jobs which actually match to my requirement. So for our viewers here, what I would like to say, try and define what you want to do.
Okay.
You might be interested in a very creative kind of a job where you are able to interact with people. For me, I would want to be working in a very analytical kind of job where I am analyzing data. So it doesn't mean your job is bad for me and my job is bad for you. It's just that what you're looking out for in a job to what the job is offering you.
Right.
So a good job for our young viewers could be somewhere where it meets their aspirations, what they want to do.
Okay.
Today it's the vice versa. There are many jobs, definitely skilled jobs, and very few takers in the market for those kind of jobs.
Okay.
Kids are well researched, they know what they want to do, what they want to study, what they want to become. So the first step, if you want to identify what's a good job for you, is going to be research the job, research the area, research that is that job of an area of interest for you.
A whole Reiki of the company.
Exactly. Once you research that job, then moving to your point is you identify which are maybe the top 3, top 5 companies within that particular sector which are offering those kind of jobs.
Correct.
Once you find those companies, network. That's a very in word nowadays. You network.
That's the game.
Or you look at mentors. Mentors can come from your college, it could come from your family friends. Network with the right set of people who could help you get into the interview stage, and do your own homework, talk about your passion, talk about things which would interest you in that job to make it worthwhile. After that, there would be secondary things like paycheck, there could be the work-life balance, what else it offers to you. But all of these factors come very late in a person's career. When you're starting your career, you should, in today's time, a lot of research, a lot of networking, a lot of fact finding, and the delivery happens on its own then.
So, there's one very typical question that people ask, like, I think it's there on a lot of people's mind, that, why are outsiders paid more in a company? Like, why are people seeking for talent from outside when, a particular person feels that that person can tap that particular field?
Within the company?
Within the company. Because job seekers, I believe, they keep asking for more from outside. So, might as well, increase the salary of a person inbound who you think is applied for it. So why does that happen?
At times there is a skill issue, there is a gap, hence you are forced to go outside and hire from the market. Let's look at it today, a very simple role. Today I'm working as a sales analyst, but tomorrow my company introduces a new CRM or an ERP where I have to upload my data in that particular format. Now, although it seems very simple that I might be using X, now I'm going to do Y, but it is not as simple as that. So if that ready-made skill is available in the market, somebody who's already done that job, for me to identify, rather than sitting and training my person internally for that job, I might not have that bandwidth or that timeline. I might want to go outside and hire. And then whenever I'm going outside in the market, I will always have to offer a premium for that particular role. because that skill is not there in my company.
Correct.
To acquire that skill, to have somebody relevant with that skill come and deliver in my company is very, very important. Hence, I would want to offer just to attract that person on that. So if a person in my team is working with me for 5 years doing a similar thing, but he's not updating himself, he's not advancing himself with the technology which is coming in, at times, in spite of him or her being the best resource for that job, I might still have to go externally and hire such people. So there is a gap in terms of a demand and the supply for roles, which ends up wherein I have to go outside at times and hire people at a higher premium.
So, are you trying to say that new minds attract more in your field?
A fresh perspective is always good,
Yeah, that works.
right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, what are some common challenges in talent acquisition and retention in India, like on a global level?
It is very simple. Recruitment is no rocket science. It's purely demand and supply. So today, if there is a demand for my job and the supply is less, definitely it gets very difficult for talent acquisition team and consultants to find the right set of people.
Correct.
I just saw an article yesterday. It had come that there was a firm in Gujarat which had opened some 40 vacancies, and there were more than 800 people who came there to apply for a job. There was a stampede situation there.
My God.
Now, this is the flip side of what we are talking, that what is the difficulty in hiring talent.
Correct.
Here, you have abundance of talent and very limited jobs. So, again, coming back to the same thing, the supply and demand plays a very, very important role in hiring. Hiring, again, for very, very technical jobs require that set of understanding, experience, skill, due to which the talent acquisition team suffer or at times are behind their schedules to hire people.
And how to retain employees?
Retention again is very, very important because it takes a lot of time to hire a right resource, train them, get up.
It's a task.
It is a task. It is a task. It's a daily task for us, and to train them and to get them up to a level, it is task. You'll be surprised to know there are very few critical roles where companies take even 6 months to 1 year to hire, to onboard another 6 months, train another 6 months. You've already spent 2 years. By the time the person is productive, it is already 2.5, 3 years. So today, as an employer, I have already paid for that on day one, but I will start seeing the results only after 2.5, 3 years. So it becomes very, very critical and important that I have those retention techniques, I have those retention programs for my employees to retain them and help them to stay in the company. For retention, most of the companies today are working very, very closely where, they have even apps, they have mobile apps where, employees can highlight their grievances, definitely in anonymity, and there are people who come ahead and address those issues. There are, when employees are hired, there are monthly reviews, quarterly reviews and annual reviews or survey questionnaires, skip surveys, where companies are coming up with newer methodologies where they can talk to employees at a direct level, understand what their challenges are and try and address those situations. The basic ones would still be offering them a better compensation, offering them a higher or a better role which appeals to them, which might help them stay, and also offering them some programs which could help them in their career advancement. Also offering them at times a hybrid environment where they get the flexibility to come to office as well as work from home, so that the employees retain and enough motivated where they would want to stay in the job.
I mean, we have to work for motivation. That's
Absolutely. See, no longer it is there that today a person comes and tells you, I want to resign, and you offer him a higher package, he's going to stay. No, you will have to create that environment. This culture does not get built in a day. It is an effort, not by one person. It is an effort by a team of people, which keeps on happening over a period of time. So a company which aims to retain its employees needs to look at programs, needs to look at those initiatives in the longer run, which keeps their people happy.
correct.
Definitely not at the cost of their productivity, but looking at a very good balance wherein the employee is happy and the employer is happy, and create that win-win formula for them.
So, if there's an employee who wants to negotiate on salary, maybe during an interview
Right.
or during the course of his job or her job, So how does one go ahead with it? Because it can get quite tricky at times.
Yes, so if somebody is looking out for a job and has just applied for a job, and they're looking at how they can go ahead and negotiate on their compensation, it is going to be not just one but multiple factors. They have to first look at what is the industry they are applying to, what is the market salaries which that particular industry and that job offers. Let's look at a chartered accountant who is doing financial reporting or who is doing auditing in a company. When you look at it, if I see it, a banking and financial organization will offer a higher salary vis-a-vis what an IT would offer or what a manufacturing would offer.
Okay.
So it's the same chartered accountant who's working with a big four, who's working with banking or financial institutions, who's working for a manufacturing or any other sector. They have different salary grades depending on the industry. Besides the salary, they need to go ahead and negotiate and identify what other perks or benefits what the company is offering.
Okay.
Many companies today offer a flexible, we've already covered that, they offer a flexible work environment.
Correct.
Which appeals to a lot of people who do not want to either stay away from office for a longer time nor want to go to office every day.
Right.
So that is the second parameter which plays a very, very important role, and what we've seen is post-COVID this trend has really picked up.
Right.
Work from office, work from home, hybrid, which was not there 5 years back. Everyone, if you're working, it is definitely you'll work from office. Where else are you going to be working from? So look at the company which is offering you a better salary. Look at the market. What is the salary grade for it? What are the benefits the company is offering? Is there a retention program? If there is career advancement programs, are they tied up to smaller things? A matter of fact is what I have seen with one of my clients. They also offer gym membership as a part of the salary.
Wow.
where a person can reimburse their monthly or quarterly gym fees and the company reimburses from them.
Nice.
This is very, very interesting because a lot of people are into fitness nowadays and they look at it, wow, my company is sponsoring that kind of programs. Besides that, they also sponsor education programs for somebody who's just done their graduates. They want to move to a master's program. A lot of companies sponsor these kind of programs. So while you're talking to employers, you need to look at these parameters on which you are going to go ahead and talk to them, negotiate them. At the end of the day, a person also needs to realize when they're applying for a job that they need to be a little flexible. If it's the start of your career or if you're in a mid-management position also, it's not always going to be that you're going to get what you ask for.
Work from home, work from office. What's your take on this, Tushar?
Wow. Now you've really hit the nail.
Absolutely.
Now, this, I guess, is the most debatable question, which is definitely in the minds of our viewers.
Post-COVID.
Absolutely. I'm going to add a third angle to this, okay?
Okay.
Hybrid.
Okay.
Okay. So let's look at it. What exactly is the pros and cons of each? And then I want you to answer, as you know, you're questioning me, I want you to answer what would appeal to you.
Okay.
Okay. So let's
Bring it
look at it. Let's be very simple. Let's start with work from office. Now, the pros of work from office is that I go to the office, I meet up with my colleagues. If I have to share any information, if I need my work to be done, it happens very quickly because I'm in the office, everyone is there.
Right.
I can use actually my office equipments, I can use my office infrastructure to get my work done. And then definitely office also offers a very formal environment, which is very essential for you to go work, and it keeps a good balance for you. You look forward to something.
Also.
Absolutely. Now, what I see the cons of work from office in a city like Mumbai, you're staying in Andheri, your offices may be at Thane, maybe in town. You will spend a good 1.5 hour, 2 hour traveling.
Correct.
Okay. So that's a problem. That's a problem because the infrastructure is still not developed. A lot of people travel by trains, they travel by road. So that's a problem. So commute is a problem. Another issue of work from office is definitely the office politics.
Right.
If I'm in my office, there is toxic environment, I get involved with people, I get dragged into unnecessary meetings, wastes a lot of my time.
Right.
So these could be a few cons which I feel for work from office. Now let's come to work from home. I think so the biggest advantage of work from home is you are in a very comfortable environment.
Right.
You know you're at your home. You can be more productive. You're more relaxed. You don't have that anxiety to get up early in the morning, get ready, rush for your train,
Correct.
rush for your bus and reach to the office. So it's more calming. You can finish a lot of things before you start your work. You can take care of your family. You can take care of your workout. A lot of other things which you can do. That plays a very good thing on work from office. You have your own space, you have your own defined area where you're comfortably working. It's a more informal way of working, can work a lot for roles which are not very client facing. Now the flip side of work from home here is isolation.
Right. And it gets too relaxing at times.
Exactly. It gets too relaxing. I'm sitting here just with my laptop and talking to people over Teams, over Skype the entire day. At times I feel isolated. I don't know what's the buzz in my office, what are the new things. And as humans, definitely we like to socialize.
Absolutely.
Right? I think so good blend for our generation is hybrid, is what I personally feel. Where you have a good balance, where you work from office also on a few specific days, at times where you're not able to work from home, and this offers a good thing. But work from office, work from it's actually like work from office and work from home is like a chicken and egg question. What came first?
Right.
So according to me, it depends on the company's culture. It depends on a person's aspirations, what he wants to do, how he wants to work. That will make a very good reason why somebody wants to work from office, work from home, or hybrid. Now I want you to answer.
I'm also a very hybrid person. I'm answering it. I'm a very hybrid person because I think it just works for me. 3 days in office, 2 days at home.
Okay.
Works from the children point of view, works from the home point of view. But at the same time, it gets very difficult for me to work from home because again, children are involved. Then they are on my head. Very difficult to concentrate. So when I have to do things that need my full concentration, I prefer working from office.
I think so. One more very important point about today's mental well-being about people. If you're working from home, sometimes it's very difficult to draw a line where my professional life stops, where my personal life starts. Because you're virtually working from home, your business or your clients or your stakeholders expect, even if it's 8 in the evening, you're expected to work from home. If you work from home, they might call you and ask you. So it is better if you have a good blend of both. And I think so it works like in anything else. A good balance always works out. Right.
That's nice. So, how do you foresee the future of this industry, the HR industry? What's the future?
This is a very good question to start off with.
Thank you.
Now let's look at it like any other industry. HR as a department, as an industry, has evolved over a period of time. 20 years back, if you used to look at it, HR was very, very transactional. It used to just manage maybe recruitment, and you manage the salary, you manage the benefits. What has happened right now in the last 20 years? Things have really changed. Things have evolved. There is a lot of technology in HR today. If you look at it, nowadays, a lot of companies are using a lot of AI tools, a lot of ATSs primarily. When I say ATS, these are basically applicant systems where candidates apply online to a company website and people can view their profiles. So right from recruitment, technology is involved. A lot of companies are spending time on that.
Correct.
Another thing which I see growing of trend is digital onboarding of employees. Earlier, what used to happen is if I have to join a company, whichever part of the country I am, if I have to report to my office, I have to physically go to the office, submit my documents, they will issue me an appointment letter and all of that. Now, with the advancement of technology, all of them can happen digital. I can sit in the walls of my home and join a company and start working from there. Where the company could send me a joining kit home and I could start working. That could be a great thing. And that's where the future is lying, where I might be hiring somebody who's working maybe in a remote part in Northeast, but he's a great candidate for me. Why he should not work for me?
Right.
So definitely this use of technology is going to enable and help me hire and work with such great people for my company, which works very well for me. A lot of other things, once a person is onboarded, like their induction, like their onboarding, like their performance appraisal, also is getting digitized. It is using great technology for that. A lot of gamification has started where there are online virtual courses which an employee can take and get educated about the company, can get educated and get those certain skills, certain qualifications which are required for the advancement of jobs. A lot of companies are investing in these kind of tools, which are definitely is the next thing. And definitely HR, as we say, is becoming slowly and gradually a big advisory to the business. It is no longer a cost center that, oh, HR, your job is just to, recruit people and you're a cost center, you're not profitable for us. Today, HR is being a very strong advisory at the management levels where CEOs consult CHROs, they take inputs from them, because HR, like we say, is a people function.
Correct.
So the core role of HR is to hire, identify, train and retain great people in the company, which will eventually give the results to the company for its growth. So I see a lot of great prospects, a lot of new things coming, and you need to be tuned to this to see how things change over the next 4 to 5 years, and it's really exciting times.
That's why they say that HR is the base of a company.
Absolutely, you nailed it.
So, Tushar, I need to ask you that, if there was one piece of advice that which you think you had when you just started your career, what would that be? Something different?
Well, I think so. It's been an enriching journey for me, at least. I think so. I have worked with great people, worked with great teams right from the day I started my career to my current times. The teams I work, they always keep me challenged. They always keep me motivated. They always identify the best in me and help me promote that. Whereas if I'm looking at viewers, for us, for our young viewers who are just starting their career, what they want to look before they start is research. Do your research about the company. I'm sorry, I'm coming back to the same thing. You research the industry, research the role, what you want to excel. If it becomes your passion, and if your passion and profession mix, it's a very lethal combination. Otherwise, you can look at aspirations and see what kind of jobs you want to do. And today, the market is so open. There are multiple jobs. There were jobs which were not there maybe 5 years back, which are there right now.
Correct.
And people are experimenting these kind of jobs. Earlier, people, if they were working as freelancers or they did not have a fixed job, people used to look down at them that maybe he's not qualified enough. But nowadays I see a lot of young people doing a lot of freelancing jobs, a lot of freelancing assignments, which helps them get a good balance in life. Okay, that's one of the things which you can look. Identify a mentor. Very important. Now a mentor can be anyone. It can be your boss, it can be your teacher, it could be a friend, it could be even your a very close friend or somebody senior to you, a family member, who can guide you, who has that experience, who's enriched with it, who's seen more in their work life than you can, and they can definitely help you guide and move up to the next level in terms of identifying.
Okay.
And like as the great Steve Jobs said, stay hungry, stay foolish, stay curious.
Right.
Be open to feedback, understand what is happening, और इसमें कोई शर्म नहीं है. एक बार पूछो, 10 बार पूछो, जो अच्छा लगता है करो, पर जो करो दिल से करो.
Absolutely. Love what you do.
Love what you do.
Correct. Hi Unnati, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You have a very important role as, sourcing and strategic planning. How has this evolved in the last 18 years?
Well, I feel it's distinguishable. When I say that, there's a 360-degree change in the way we used to source way back in time and how we source today. Thanks to this AI and technology, which is why zipping CVs have become faster.
Wow.
We used to stack 100 CVs together, used to scan each resume to get the right candidate. Today, through ATS, through the network, we are able to filter CVs well before it comes to the HR. Back in time, we used to actually visit the office for an interview. So traveling used to be a task. You are you become shabby by the time you reach for the interview place. You have to redo your whole thing. So all these things have become very easy. You can actually wear your shorts, wear a formal shirt, and you're ready for an interview.
Absolutely.
So that's how the journey has been, and it's been very effective, very fast, very smart, and very, very much candidate friendly.
Right. So the HR department, let's get to the department as a whole. What exactly is the HR department? Some people say it's a Rangoli making team. Why don't you set the record straight? Is it?
Why stick to the Rangoli team? We actually do Christmas parties, Women's Day, Diwali.
Absolutely.
And actually manage your offsites.
Correct.
So, keeping jokes apart, definitely I feel proud in involving the company's team members to make Rangoli for the company, which connects people from different departments where they don't even know each other. And they sometimes forget that they are actually come to work, but they are actually in a very comfortable zone with their friends. When you have that comfortable environment with your team members, with your colleagues, you might not know someone who is working next in your next department, it becomes easier to connect. And when you feel at home, you deliver better. So it's not just a Rangoli making team. Maybe it's one of the departments in the HR umbrella, which comes under employment engagement activities, which takes care of fun at work. But over and above, we also take care of, hiring, identifying the right candidate, training them, mentoring them, planning for their lot of certifications and, sponsor studies that we call. So, which adds value to the system and which adds value to their productivity.
Right. That's
So-
a lot of work.
Yeah. And we are still called like a Rangoli making team.
Correct. That's the irony. Now, for a classic interview question, why should we hire you?
Well, this is taken very casually in an interview,
Okay.
but it's an opportunity to express yourself and be vocal about what your thought process that you want to express it to the interviewer. You can always talk about your strengths, your achievements, your extracurricular activities that you have done it at your personal end. If you have been a great contributor in your college festivals, if you have performed, if you have been a part of any tournaments, if you have done any extracurricular activities in your schools and colleges, all these things, when you explain it to an interviewer, it helps the person to evaluate in detail. Many a times you cannot write all this in the resume, but it becomes easy to explain it in person. And when that happens, it gives a sense of confidence to the interviewer to explain and to understand whether this candidate will be a cultural fit in the company, because that candidate will be working with multiple team members. So, it gives them a sense of confidence for there. Fear is not good for great. So
Correct.
when you say that, you have to actually express yourself very confidently.
So, the conviction and the confidence of the candidate is gauged over here by the employer?
Absolutely. Basis which it gives you a level of confidence whether he's the right fit for you or not.
A job candidate, if he or she has a career gap or wants to, transition into a new sector, what is a good way to get into the employment loop for them?
Well, to answer this question here, career gap, there can be multiple reasons for that. A gap in your career can be because of your maternity leaves, your paternity leaves, your health reasons, or your family reasons.
Right.
It's very subjective that whether you are on a break for 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years. Keeping this in mind, you have to always keep yourself updated about the industry that you have been working.
Right.
If you are updated about what's happening in the industry, when you reconnect in the industry, when you are looking out for a job again, it becomes easy for you to connect.
It's just like a stepping stone.
Absolutely.
Networking.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Unnati, you have, employed across industries. How have you navigated gender biasness and stereotypes in workplace?
I would like to say that 80% of the employees in my company are women.
Nice.
So do you think we are gender biased? No, we are not. It's all about who can do that job well. Not that men cannot do it, but we can do it with more empathy, because that's what we are born with.
Right.
Women are very good at multitasking and women are very good at building relations. That's how we have been taught at home. So that makes it easy to do this job. It's not about the gender biasness, but it's about who can do that skill properly. For the matter of fact, when it comes to my clients, they are not very subjective that they want a men or women, male or a female for a particular job. Who can do that skill confidently is what they hire, irrespective of the gender.
We women are known to be a little more affectionate. So
Absolutely.
I think that works here.
That adds to our kitty.
Correct. What unique perspectives and strengths do you think women, particularly women, bring to HR? Bring into the entire HR department, to the role, to any particular role or as a role across industries?
So basically, when we speak about what we get in the HR, it's more about the empathy, the understanding, the affection that we give. It naturally comes in us.
Absolutely.
Because of the way things have been brought up. Women are very good entrepreneurs at home. Women are basically very good at multitasking. They understand the emotions of a person, because they have to deal with so many people at different age groups way back at home. It gives us that sense of emotions, it gives us that sense of responsibility that we need to work to make sure that that employee who is in the company is happy, so that he can go back and perform. Eventually, all the companies are result oriented. But where will these results come from? When an employee is happy. And how can you make that employee happy? It comes with the kind of support they get from the HR team.
Correct.
Many a times, something that businesses cannot deal with, they direct them to HR. Why? Not that they don't have an answer, but they don't know how to deal with that situation. Why in exit interviews there is HR? It's because they deal with the emotions of the person in the company throughout the process. So, we are very good at understanding people, and I'm blessed to be a woman because it gives me an opportunity to take this very confidently.
What a wonderful answer. That's a wrap, folks. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe for more insightful discussions and follow us on social media. Until then, I'm Dinika Keswani signing off from HR Jazz.